Hi guys, welcome back to News Team. Here is Cristiana. Usually I'm your roaming reporter, but today it's going to be only me. Today I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Duggan, secondary school principal. When conflict happens between students, what does AOSR want them to learn from these moments?
We want them to learn a couple of things. First, we want them to learn how to resolve the conflict. Sometimes they need our guidance on that, but ultimately we want them to be able to resolve conflicts on their own. And secondly, or really firstly, we want them to avoid the conflict in the first place, and they need to learn how to do that. So typically what we try to get them to do is put themselves in the other person's shoes, right? And think about how their actions are affecting others. And when students do that, they tend not to do things that create conflict in the first place.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Duggan. Let's move on to the second question. How do teachers and principals notice when a student is struggling even before they ask for help?
Well, usually there are signs, right? It could be academic. It could just be that the student looks sad that day for some particular reason. Sometimes we'll notice if a student is sitting by themselves at lunch, and especially if that hasn't been the case before, then we know there's something that needs to be addressed, or maybe there's something that needs to be addressed. Sometimes we often have a counselor check in on them rather than hearing it from an administrator or even a teacher, because the counselor is there, someone who's there to advise them and support them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the third question.
Okay.
How do you make sure AOSR keeps on improving and listening to students and families?
I'd say the answer to the first part lies in the second part. Like, we do keep listening to students and families. And we do that in lots of ways. We survey them. We have parent coffees once in a while. The administration attends the PTO meetings once a month. All these are ways that we get feedback from parents. And also from students. We talk to them a lot. We survey them too. That helps us improve. We also, of course, look at big picture stuff that maybe students and parents aren't thinking about, like test results, map test data, stuff like that. And not so much because we're worried about those numbers, but we want to make sure we're doing right by our students, that they're learning as effectively and as well as they can.
Thank you, Mr. Duggan.
Thank you.